Hello, girlies. Welcome back to No Pick Niches Allowed. Today we're going to be talking about breadcrumbing. Let's get into the definition first, right? So, breadcrumbing is a term used to describe the act of giving someone just enough attention to keep them interested without committing or putting in much effort. It can also be called Hansel and Greteling. Ladies, first and foremost, if you are at the age of 18 and 19 and you're going to college, the first thing I want you to do, besides knowing your syllabus and having your supplies, I want you to sign up for a therapist. I say this to say because I know more than likely you'll be dating, right? And you think that you're ready, you think you know everything about yourself, and I'm telling you right now, you do not. Chances are your dad wasn't there. Chances are you were abused in some way, shape, or form. Chances are you have low self-esteem and you don't even realize it yet. Chances are you don't really know what standards are yet, or what standards you should have, or you don't really have boundaries yet, right? And so I'm saying this to say because as a young child growing up in Jamaica, I had a very dysfunctional childhood. We're talking about not eating on a consistent basis. I was not going to school on a consistent basis. I was out of school for a very long time. I was being abused by my mother. That's not easy to admit, but looking back, I do believe my mother was going through some sort of depression, just because of the status of our house and how it looked inside. And so that brewed anxiety for me as a child, because I didn't have a safe place mentally, emotionally, or just physically, because my dad wasn't there. He was always working, and when he did come, that's when it was good, right? It was good. The fridge was full. I had all my favorite snacks. Guys, I'm so sorry, it's summer, these fucking idiots. But all my favorite snacks, we had clean clothes, everything was sweet, the best shoes, but as soon as my dad left, my mom was just, it was just terrible. Like, plumbing issues, clothes are soiled for weeks on, it was just really bad. Like, we had to fry sugar to eat. And so I didn't realize how bad it was, but it's important to tell you this because it's all going to make sense. So just stick with me, right? That brew anxiety, that brew a child not having a safe place, a child not being able to trust the adults that are around her. So that was brewing trust issues for me, And so I became a very antisocial person. I was not so trusting of others. I was a child that was very wary of people. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel safe at all because I didn't have the basics that every child should have, which is water, food, shelter, and parents that are mentally sane. And maybe mentally sane is not the basics, but I didn't have just like the normal basics. I wasn't going to school. I didn't get the opportunity to socialize with friends. I was kept in the house. So I didn't have a lot of social skills. And so I come to America, I'm living with my grandmother. I'm living with somebody that, she's old fashioned. They weren't raised on the huggy type, I love you type thing. And so there I go again, being brought into a household where, I don't feel like I'm in a safe place. I have the food, I have the shelter, but now my emotional needs aren't being met. I don't feel love. I don't feel safe. I don't really have a sense of identity because that wasn't being nurtured from the very beginning. Wasn't being nurtured. So I have a loss of self, a loss of confidence because I didn't have anybody building that confidence within me. And so let me tell you how this is dangerous. So now when you zoom to 18, 19 now, right, and you have hormones, now you're starting to think about boys, and I'm pushing it down because all my life I've been told to stay away from boys. Okay, I wait till 18, I start talking to boys. Now the problem with that is everybody 18, we think we know what we're doing. I didn't. Because I would see a cute guy, not just any cute guy, like I wouldn't just give out chances like that, but I would see a cute guy and, he would say a couple nice things to me, and let's say we did do something. Now I'm thinking the way that this guy had intercourse with me, that means he loves me, because you couldn't just do something like that with somebody like that with so much passion and not love them, right? So this is young me thinking, well, okay, this must be the feeling that's gonna replace all the bad things that I felt. But those men weren't meeting my emotional needs. They couldn't fix that childhood trauma from way back then. They couldn't fix 9-year-old Ocean. They couldn't fix her. So I'm trying to connect to people that had no souls or just had one thing on their mind. And so I attracted predators. I attracted men that wanted to prey on my naiveness, my innocence, and the fact that I was sheltered by my mom and my grandmother, so I don't know much. And so though I know men are evil, a lot of them are evil, that's what I was taught. It's still hard. It's a challenge to fight off, hormones and wanting the chance to be loved. So this is why I say, guys, it's important to go to a therapist to unpack these issues so you can identify them and start to work on them before you go into dating, because you will meet men that give you the bare minimum and you'll think that this is good because this is more than what I've had as a kid. And you'll wait around for the highs. You'll wait around for that nice toasted piece of breadcrumb, because that's the most you ever had. And, you just gotta wait. You just gotta hang in there for the next time this person breadcrumbs you. And so I didn't know that was happening. I didn't know that these men were coming in my life and their communication was inconsistent. Their actions were inconsistent. I didn't take that as abnormal so much so, because that's all I went through as a kid, was going through very abnormal things. So that was my normal. Toxicity was my normal. I actually looked at those relationships, well, at least they made me feel good, So being called beautiful or a man, quote unquote, making love to you, that was better for me because, well, I didn't feel anything as a kid. So now I'm getting intimacy. So this is what relationships are about. You just got to go through a little bit hell to get on the good side. So that's what I taught myself, subconsciously. And so that's why it's so important, ladies, especially girls who are 17, 18, that haven't been, been screwed up yet, that you do go talk to a therapist, especially if you know that you have some trauma that you need to unpack. It is important that you at least have an understanding of yourself before going into dating. Personally, I don't think any woman should be dating at least till she's 23 and she's traveled and things of that nature. You need to know yourself. You need to socialize. You need to understand your boundaries. Have very, very strong boundaries. And you need to know what you'll tolerate and what you won't. And you need to understand you need to have an expectation of the people that come into your life before you go into the dating market. Because if you go into the dating market just having a feel for things, you'll just pick up garbage. And you'll think it's normal because you never got to know yourself. You never got to know the world. And no one else was able to set the standards. You never had a man. You never had a dad in your life to set that high standard for you of what a man should look like and how a man should treat a woman. And so it is important, ladies, that If we know we've been breadcrumbing through our childhood, that we start giving ourselves that life that we want others to give us. So that means going out, being at peace, being happy, doing whatever that means luxury to you. So when you attract people in your life, those people will give you the same things, because that's the standard that you have for yourself, and you don't even breadcrumb yourself, so you won't tolerate it, right, from anyone else. And so, ladies, all in all, don't be breadcrumbed by these men. The bottom line is go to a therapist, unpack those issues. I'm not going to say a therapist is going to solve everything. But you do need to understand what your issues are, and you need to have a game plan on how you're going to tackle those issues before going into the dating market or while you're in the dating market, so you can be the best version of yourself and attract the best versions that are out there. So anyways, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like for more content like this, and see y'all next time around.